Hey guys, it's Crazy Pickle with another episode for the beginner's guide. So today is gonna be, I would say, most important part about the equipment, which will be the equipment part 3. And we're gonna talk about the really important part, and it's gonna be a little bit tough because it requires a lot of credits that you actually need to use to upgrade your gear and get the right stats. I mean, you can still save if you do the smart way. So let's just start and look what stats I have for the DPS setup. So let's just open the equipment window and let's see. So we have jewelry, we have gems of power. They all have um, specific stats that you can actually uh, kind of unlock. Well, so they have a stats that, let's say, the ring, you have specific stats that you can actually put on instead of, let's say, uh, like that gem, the mythic, the sapphire, right? So let's go for a ring. So we have a key stats and secondary stats. So the key stats is more of a kind of increase in your damage, your critical damage and all that. So as you can see here, I have critical chance 7.2, which is the maximum number, armor fracture, which is 3.6%, which is also max number. So pretty much all the stats that I have, they all max numbers. uh, Damage to elite. So if we gonna, well, of course everybody knows what's the critical chance. It's the chance that allows you to create more. The higher your critical chance, the more time you will create. So the armor fracture is your attack inflicts progressively more damage to the same target up to 14.4%. So this is actually really good. As long when you, let's say, fighting a big boss, and because you constantly keep hitting the same target, so it will put some kind of like it will use that armor fracture to that you will deal more damage. So, and also all the stars, it means it's the recommended, so it says recommended stat for your current class. So pretty much most of the DPS classes, like all that here, will have that star, so they will require those stats. It's going to be a recommended. And the third is damage to elite. So the damage to elite is damage to elite monsters and bosses is increased by 36%, which is elite monsters, it's the 4 bars, and of course the bosses is the bosses, so it's obvious. um, Pretty much, so what it goes, the setup goes is for the jewelry, I'm going for the DPS. Pretty much not I'm just me, everybody who actually knows, they have the same setup for the DPS class. So it's going to be critical chance, armor fracture, damage to elite on the ring, on the amulet. Um, so there's going to be 3 here on same stats on ring and amulet. Then only one stat we change on brooch and bracelet. So it's going to be the main damage. We're going to put the main damage, same staying with the armor fracture, damage to elite, and then main damage will be here too. And then the gems, pretty much they're all going to be the same. Critical chance, critical damage bonus, main damage. So pretty much every gem will have the same key stat. So the secondary stat is kind of helps you. That's why they call it secondary stat. It's kind of like an extra boost to your let's say DPS class, and kind of helps you again deal more damage, or like let's say here I have melee defense, which is it's actually the third secondary stats, but before, when we had the generation 11, we only had 2 secondary stats. So, and in mine was is damage when combat starts and damage to stunned target. So let's go right here. This is your window for the secondary stat. So the damage when combat starts increases your damage for the first 8 seconds of the battle by 24%. So for the most part, let's say if you're strong enough, for the 8 seconds, I mean, you can deal a lot of damage to the enemies. And usually, let's say if you're fighting a boss, maybe distortion or something, usually the full buffs or partially like main buffs goes in the first time, so the first stage. And for the 8 seconds you will have buff, and you will have that boost for 8 seconds. So it's pretty good, useful, and I was running with that so for a long time since they actually released the new equipment system. And the damage to stun target is damage to incapacitated enemies is increased by 28.8%. So which it means if you knock them down and with any with any skills, and which is actually make the enemy stops or just knock them down on the ground, then this is where your damage will increase. So, and the third secondary stat, I didn't actually work on that too, so I didn't gonna have time for that, and I'm still not sure what exactly for the third secondary stat I will pick. So, and pretty much all the let's just go for the two secondary stat that I actually know that they actually really good, which is the damage when combat starts, damage to stun target. So it's gonna be ring, amulet, brooch, and bracelet. And then the gems will be chain killing, and which is right over here. When 3 enemies are killed, damage is temporarily increased by 24%. So when it says temporarily, I'm not sure for how long. Maybe for like a couple of attacks or something, and so I'm not sure actually. I mean, it would be actually better if they would say like whatever 8, 10, 15 seconds, something like that. So it's gonna be, for the gems, it's gonna be damage to slow targets and chain killing. Same for the ruby. Actually, no, not so. It's gonna be only for ruby and sapphire, which is chain killing and damage to slow target. Then the emerald, you will change only one, so you still keep the chain killing, but you will go for the companion's chain attack. And same with the topaz. So the where is that? There you go. So the companion's attack hits 4 more targets, which is, if you go to your provinces and you find that bastion with that, unless they get rid of that, let me find it. Oh yeah, actually yeah. So that's that. So before, what we had in one of the bastions, that was a passive, also was chain killing for the companion attack. So the companion, every time you so as you can see on, so next to my health bar, there is how many dashes I have, kind of hard to see I guess, and there is a one what it's called, like a charge attack or something like that. So when you use that, your companion attacks 4 more targets when you have the companion's chain attack. So since I have on topaz and emerald, it will hit 4 more targets. So it's kind of useful, you know, kind of kill like minions, little guys, when you hit the big guy and then just hit 4 more targets. And if you kind of really strong, then those minions just gonna die right away. So this is just a setup for the DPS. what you need to do, so if you're gonna go to your bag, item upgrade, this is where the old magic happens. So since let's say well, this one is maxed. So when it's not, integrity is not maxed, this is what you have. So it shows the resources you need to use, and of course the upgrade, and it shows you how much credit. So from the, when it's gonna be only 1400 integrity, let's say 0%, it will eat like 30 or 60k credits. But when you go up, and I think when you break like 1500 point, then it will start increasing. So after that it's going to be 120 credits all the time until you hit the 100%. So, and of course you need the items, which is the Mark of Judge, let's say, and Mark of Sage, which you getting from it just says to obtain it, participate in activities aimed at combating invading armies. So which is, we're gonna go to Alien, Adventure List, Invasions, and each mission gives you specific mark. So the Evacuation gives you Judge, Dark Ritual gives you Assassin, and then so usually 2 maps gives you the same mark, and then 2 other maps gives you another kind of mark, and 2 other maps gives you the 3rd kind of mark. So let's say Evac is Judge, right? And I believe that, nope. And so the Land in the Hand and Evacuation gives you Judge, right? Then the Dark Ritual gives you, and DOF, which is Defensive Fortification, gives you Assassin, and the Crash Site and Crashed Aircraft gives you Mark of Sage. So you have 3 kind of marks, and two maps for each mark that you just can go and farm that. Usually for the Mark of Judge, usually people do in the Land in the Hand, which is kind of quick and easy. Evacuation is also quick and easy, but I think the Land in the Hand is more of a kind of not big of a map, and just you can even do it without even going God mode. So if you're strong enough, of course. But if you're not, then I mean you can still have, go as a group and do that. So it's gonna be much easier. So this is this for this. So you need the marks to upgrade it when you have a 0 integrity. To work on your stats, you just have to click button stat replacement. So just click that, and let's just let's pick maybe that equipment that I don't have actually upgraded really good. Okay, so let's say just this ring, right? It's kind of random stats here. So let's say oh wow, that's really cool. That wasn't here before. So now you can actually see what your stats you have, and actually what. Oh, this is just way too weird. So it pretty much shows you pretty much same thing, unless it just shows you the all stats. Yeah, actually it shows you the all stats that Ring can actually have it, so that you can actually put it on and use it. So anyway, to make that easier, let's say if you, when you aim for the critical chance armor fracture damage to elite, it's a little bit hard because the item that you can use to get, let's say, critical chance, critical damage, and main damage is the Spark of Simplicity, which is when you replace equipment stats, you may gain one of the following main stat: bonus to base damage, which is the main damage, critical damage, and companions damage, and general defense. So let's say if you do your gems, that this one is a really good to use to kind of save the credits to actually get, let's say, main damage, critical damage at least. Then a critical chance, you have to work without it. So, and what you need to do, just gonna go start replacement, and then you just click that square right here, select modifier, and then you can choose. So when you, and then what you can also do, let's say you got armor fracture, well, let's just open this. So when you got those 3 stats first, right, you can click on it to lock the stat. So let's say you got maybe armor fracture and damage to elite, but you don't have critical chance. So you lock this. Of course, the credits increase per replacement, and then you just keep rolling. The more you lock, the more credits. So the maximum is 150. So well, if you need just only 1 stat to find. But the main thing that most of the people actually say, that since it's for the beginners, I would, and a lot of people would suggest that you need to go first for the integrity. You need to upgrade your integrity first and then worry about stats. Because the integrity you need farmed marks. I mean, yeah, when you farm in marks, you also gaining credits by the completed missions. And you need a lot of credits to go from 1400 to, so let's say from 0 to 100%. Which is going to be from 1400 multiplier to 1600, which is the max for Gen 12 mythical. It's gonna, and you will definitely need a lot of marks. And a little tip that, as you can see here, storage limit is 500 marks, so you're gonna have to pay attention on that too. Let's say if you're reaching close to the 500, just go to items upgrade and upgrade the equipment that you have, and depends on how many credits you have to. But again, this part is, you don't have to really focus that much, because it will eat a lot of credits. The main part is, of course, like I said, it's Cathedral and Tower of Knowledge. So these two, because they gives you mind, you keep growing. If you still like a long way to go for you until you're gonna hit the max number, which is 250,000 followers, and it's gonna take a lot of time and a lot of credits too. So this Tower Knowledge, Cathedral, and of course the Bastions, it's the main 3 buildings in the beginning when you have to actually focus on. And then you can actually focus on the equipment more when you get in at least closer to maximum numbers in those 3 buildings. Well, pretty much it's just the Cathedral and Tower of Knowledge, so, but Bastions, they're not actually affecting anything. So, but again, if you can still upgrade like little by little the integrity, don't worry about the stats. At least for now, at least for in the beginning. So, and unless you can actually buy credits, let's say by using Origins and all that, then for those people, of course, it's going to be really easy. You just can buy a bunch of credits and just do the stats first, just completely finish every piece of equipment that you have, and of course definitely do that when you will have Generation 11 full set, so that way on the next well, even if you're gonna get the Gen 12, then see, this is where the actual fun begins. Because right now, if you're playing right now with this invasion, which is the Reapers of Death, then, and you not high enough to actually get Gen 12, because to go to this the Operation Isabella, Medea, and Affiliate difficulty for Gen 12, you need to have specific uh, prestige level. So, but it could be a possibility still for the people who's not too high, and they can still get the Gen 12. So what I would suggest, if you have a chance and if you're high enough to actually get the Generation 12, even the purple at least for now, but get the Generation 12, then you can start working on the stats. So, and like I said, if you can buy a bunch of credits, then you can just finish the all stats that you need and then focusing on integrity. Because every time you go to the new invasion, you will keep those stats when you're gonna make, let's say, Emerald, your Emerald that you already have. Instead of it Gen 12, it will become Gen 13. So, but anyway, this is the main stats for the DPS. Like I said, critical chance, armor fracture, damage to elite. The secondary stat, damage when combat starts and damage to stun targets, which will be for the ring. And amulet will be the same key stats and same secondary stats. And then the brooch will be only one stats change. It will be main damage, same secondary stat as the amulet and the ring, and same the bracelet. So, and of course the gems, they will be key stats will be all the same for all 4 gems. The only key stats you will change is companion chain attack for the topaz and emerald. And again, I will keep repeating this, guys. It could be annoying, but the first thing, if you completely free player, or even if you can spend little by little, but still not enough, then focus on the integrity, upgrading the integrity first, because upgrading the integrity will gives you more prestige points to actually get your prestige level up high. And of course it boosts your stats, so it's this, when you upgrade in the integrity, your multipliers, main damage, critical damage, companions damage, health, they keep growing. So I would say focus on that first, and then of course the cathedral and tower of knowledge will be 100% main part, that where you're gonna spend your knowledge of enemies and credits. When you hit to that point when like your cathedral is, I would say, like at least 150, maybe a little bit closer to 200,000 followers, then you can start really focusing on at least on some stats. You can just do one item at a time, just it depends how many credits you have. If you have credits enough, then you can just focus at least on one item at the time. I mean, it's really, I admit it's really tough part, I would say, because you have to have a lot of credits. And if you're a person like that, you can farm the crap out of any mission and just keep farming the credits and all that, then that's gonna be again hard part, because you have to farm all the time. So if this helps, guys, you a lot, I will do the second part for the, well, kind of a second part for the part 3, which will be for the support setup, and then the third part for the part 3 will be the defense setup. But again, because it's the beginner's guide, since you're gonna play only DPS for a while, you're gonna play only the DPS classes for a while, you don't have to worry about the support setup and all that. It's gonna be later in the game, and I will probably gonna hold on that. I will make the video, but I will hold on that, because for now, I will just give you the part that you actually needed on your journey for now. So maybe another kind of a advice that you can, while you focusing on your cathedral tower of knowledge and upgrading the integrity, of course, um, you may, kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna spend that amount of credits per week to try to get specific stat, right? So maybe you get lucky, you'll get all three all the way, and you like, even if you get the three let's say key stats, right? You don't have to go and make them max numbers. So you can, whatever it will be, just keep that way. At least you will have the stats. So, and it will already boost your character, that you will deal more damage to the enemies and all that. So something like that, I would say. Uh, but let's say, we all know there is a lot of people who actually can spend money, a lot of money into the game and just get everything they want, and it's all good, Some people can, some people don't want to, some people cannot. So it's the game. Every game have the same people, so somebody can spend, somebody don't, and yeah, whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, that could be better. That could be a really good advice. Let's say I can spend whatever million credits a week to kind of replace the stats and try to get the specific stat that you need for your DPS class. So okay guys, I believe that I covered everything for at least this part, and if it helped, if you liked it so far, so hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you are new to my channel and to the game, so that I will help you to actually go through the journey as easy as possible, that you not gonna be confused at specific part of the game. And of course you can leave a comment down below, whatever video you want to see me, whatever, maybe you have any questions, and I will reply that to make the video, and it depends on the questions, of course. Alright guys, I'm gonna wrap up this video, and I hope you liked it, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and notification button to know when I'm gonna post my next video. So until the next time, take care guys.